Masal al-Khair, good afternoon. My name is Russell Seeger, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to work as a research intern in the Gulf International Forum 2018. At the time, I was an ambitious college student with a keen interest in studying the Middle East, who had just returned from a study abroad experience in Jordan. And, considering my coursework, passion, study abroad experience, I fancied myself a bit of a know-it-all, an expert, if you will. I was a little bit wrong. I arrived at GIF with a strong passion for research and what I naively thought was generally a solid background in Middle East affairs. However, I had a lot of questions about the Gulf, and I was excited to begin getting answers to these questions. Well, as often happens when you're studying a topic as complex and intricate as the Gulf region, I ultimately left with even more questions than when I started. And while I lacked these answers, I gained something else. I gained critical thinking skills that made me confident that I could pursue further research and inquiry into these answers on my own. Skills that apply to the field of Gulf studies, yes, but also apply to broader aspects of life in general. I was regularly challenged, nurtured, and humbled at GIF. I was allowed to pursue research topics that piqued my own interest while still receiving guidance from everyone in the organization. It was through this guidance that I learned to apply a critical lens to the region. I learned to ask difficult questions and intimately engage with the complex ideas that resulted from this interrogation. In my own humble opinion, GIF stands tall among the research institutions that encourage and celebrate deep and challenging discussions. At GIF, this is supported by the unique insight provided by the staff, whose personal ties to the region provided a perspective that no amount of scholarly study could ever be produced by an outsider like myself. It was from them and the experiences that GIF offered that I was exposed to the importance of the Gulf region, not only for those interested in Middle East studies or international affairs, but for anyone interested or concerned with global economics, institution building, human rights, power structures, and the origins of some of the most fascinating cultures and most delicious food our world has to offer. I found that when I returned to college for my senior year and was enrolled in classes on the Middle East with a hyper-competitive cohort, my ability to think critically about issues had surpassed that of my peers. The research I conducted for my classes was now of a much higher caliber, the thoughts I produced were more nuanced, and my ability to question the relevance of commonly accepted assumptions was almost second nature. I owe this largely to the challenging and intellectually stimulating experience that GIF offered me. While I learned a lot about myself and about the Gulf at GIF, my time there taught me something more important. It taught me the value of providing young professionals an opportunity to study the Gulf region, or any topic for that matter, in a professionally challenging and intellectually stimulating environment. Consider our situation today. We're here talking about complex puzzles and shifting dynamics in the Gulf region. Changes that are happening so fast that even the experts are struggling to keep up. No offense. These developments make it so much more important that young professionals are able to engage with these ideas beyond their classroom studies and beyond their self-directed personal studies. Because only through diligent analysis, and only through discussion, and only through a challenging environment, and only through opportunities for growth, will my generation and those after me develop the skills and, more importantly, the intellectual curiosity that will be needed as we rise through the ranks as decision makers who will wrestle with the equally as tough, if not tougher, questions of tomorrow. I encourage you all to nurture and encourage young professionals and to provide them with pathways for intellectual growth like GIF was so generous enough to do for me, so that the future experts, inshallah, will be able to sit in a room like this 20 years from now and educate on the issues of their days so eloquently like you all are today. Thank you.